I realize it's been quite a long time since I've done a long-range rifle update. Actually, I had a video recorded, mostly recorded except for the ending, because I wanted to add a little bit more to it. But a lot has happened since then, so I'm kind of scrapped that one and redoing the whole video, because a few more things have come up since then. So basically what I'm going to do is show you guys these targets. These are the match targets that I shot during the competition shoots at my club, some of them, but I'll go through that when I get to them. So basically this video is an overview of how things have gone throughout this summer, basically from June until now, the progression that I've made with this rifle setup that I have, and pretty much the outlook that I have going forward and what do I want to accomplish with it. I have a whole playlist already for this build. It's a very nice build. It was pretty expensive, a lot of nice parts on this gun. I will link that down in the description or up there if you want to see the entire build on this rifle and what it cost. But for this video, I'm basically going to go through how things have gone since June and where they stand right now. Now, one of the biggest problems that I've had doing these competition shoots at the club that I belong to throughout the summer is there's been a lack of supply for a lot of the ammo that I wanted to shoot. When I first had this put together and was zeroing the rifle in, the best ammo that I shot out of it was the Berger 144 or the 140s. It shot those extremely well. But right after that, they went out of stock for the whole summer until recently. So I wasn't able to buy that. This first target here that I'm going to show you, and the majority of the matches that I shot this year were with the Seiko TRG 136 grain, TRG Precision. Those shot pretty well, but it's not the best ammo that I've shot out of this. And keep in mind, too, the whole goal with all of this build is to be shooting reloads out of this. It's taken me a long time to get everything together and everything set up. I'm still not there yet. A lot of things have come up, so I haven't been able to get as much progress with it as I wanted to. But the end goal of this is to be shooting this with custom loads for these matches. There's one other target that I do need to show you as well. There's 30 targets here total. This first one here is the June match. This match I actually won. I was very proud of myself for hanging with these guys that are shooting as well as they do. This target total score was a 281 out of a possible 300, which is good, but it's not what this rifle is capable of doing. But all these matches are hit or miss as far as how you're going to do. The guys that were in this match usually shoot extremely well. They had a couple of bad rounds while I didn't, and I was able to actually win that June match. Going ahead from there, so after I shot that match that I won, the next match I shot the exact same 281, but there were guys that did better that round. I think the winning total was 288, so I ended up tying for third. Now, for the July match, I had to use Hornady ELD match because I could not get the Seiko TRG anymore. This was the worst target that I've shot all year. This gun just does not like the Hornady at all. My Tikka loved it, but this gun does not like it. So this target here was a 260 total. I shot a 84, 86, and a 90, so I was improving. But overall, look at the spread on a lot of this, and it was shooting low, and it wasn't ideal. Now we skip ahead to the last match that I did. This is good and bad. This is a 267. This was shot with the match grade Lapua. It's their match grade ammo that they have. I had a real bad, this actually wasn't mine. These are all my shots. There's 30 shots here. I don't know, this came from someone else, so don't pay attention to that. This was a 267, but the problem I had here, you see all the shots that are way low down here. I'll explain that. What happened with that is in between that target and the match before, I wanted to clean the gun. So I took it down to the 100-yard range after the 440-yard match, and I ended up cleaning the gun, had it set to 100 yards just to, put some rounds through it after I cleaned it to get the barrel back to where it was and shoot in condition. When I shot this target with the Lapua ammo, it was still sighted at 100 yards on the initial sighter shots that we do. We do 5 sighter shots at a different piece of paper below this target to see where you're hitting, and then you make adjustments from there. And then we start the match at 440 yards with 10 rounds for each round for 3 rounds total. So these shots that are low, all on the bottom, those for me were my sighter ones because I didn't know where I was really hitting, because during the sighter round, all my shots went below the sight and target because I was still zeroed at 100. I forgot to put it back to 440 where it should have been. So once I realized where I was hitting, I was able to make an adjustment. I was aiming up here to the upper left-hand corner and hitting in the middle. Because I've had to go through 3 different types of ammo this season, not knowing where each one was going to hit, because every type of ammo is different for where it's going to hit at distances like 440 yards and longer. They're not all going to land the same, even if the gun is zero at 100 and all that stuff. So what I had been doing is finding out where I was hitting on the sighter targets and then doing a holdover. So I realized I was hitting low and to the right, so I started aiming up here to the top, and all the shots more or less were here. But that still wasn't ideal. What I really needed to do was to be able to have consistency, the same type of ammo, and dial this in for 440 yards with that ammo, which is what I did for this target here. This target was shot with the Lapua match grade. This stuff is unbelievable. And I had everything set up the way that I wanted it. I had I'll throw up a picture as well. It's actually probably going to be the thumbnail. I had some pieces of carpet below the rear bag to bring it up a little bit, because this rest is lowered as low as it will go. And I switched to this bag. It's an Armageddon bag, and it sits much lower than my other one that I was using, but I like the bag more. So I need to bring the back of the rifle up in order to get the muzzle to be pointing even at the target at 440 yards. So I put those pieces of carpet below this to bring it up a little bit. So this is, and I'll throw up a picture of this on the screen as well. But this is the extra Lapua that I had. Now the one that has all the stickies on it, that was a 95. This one here was a second 10-round group that I did, and this was a 99 target. I was beyond amazed that the gun was able to shoot that accurately. And between the 2 rounds, I had 6 in the X. So that's 30% of the rounds were in an area that's less than 1.5 inches at 440 yards. Now you may be wondering, why didn't I do 30? Well, the Lapua only comes in boxes of 50. So I did one match, total rounds used was 35. I bought a second box, and the Lapua match grade stuff is $170 a box for 50 rounds, so it's very expensive. So with the second box that I bought and what I had left from the other one, I was able to go back to the range, sight in this rifle with that ammo at 440 yards, and dial the scope to what it really needed to be so that I was aiming in the middle and hitting in the middle instead of having to do holdovers. And now when I went and shot this target, it was absolutely perfect conditions as far as wind, meaning there was no wind. So this is sighted in at 440 right now with 0 wind adjustment if it's a nice calm morning. And if there is wind, or enough where I have to make an adjustment, that'll be easy to do at this point, instead of having to hold over on the target somewhere else and hope that I'm hitting in the middle, because this is a 27 zoom scope. And even with that, it's still really hard to do a holdover and keep it on the same exact spot every time, hoping that you hit in the middle. And now that this gun is dialed in and hitting where I want it, the whole goal that I've been aiming towards for the summer was to have a good chance at the championship match, which is the very next match that I'm doing later on in the month in September. It's actually 2 weeks from the time of this recording. And I do have 35 rounds of the Lapua match grade ammo left that I'll be using. So if I can replicate this for that match, I'll be in the running to hopefully win the whole thing. I think the highest, I believe the highest match this year that's won was a 288. So if I'm able to replicate this same type of accuracy again with the match for the championship match, then I have a real good shot of winning it. So, you know, this, if I had done 10 more rounds, which I couldn't do because I only have 35 rounds left of the Lapua match grade, you know, even if I shot a 95 or even better than a 95, you know, that's a really, really good target. That may have been enough to win the championship, because the highest anyone shot this year, I believe, was a 288. I don't think anyone's touched 290 yet. But trying to get this thing dialed in all summer has been quite an adventure, trying to get this thing exactly where I want it. And I'm so close now, but the bad part of that is I'm almost have together all of the reload and stuff that I want to do. So once I start doing load development, I'm right back to square one again with zeroing this rifle in at 100 yards with that ammo, and then doing the same thing that I did with this target, is really dialing it in for 440 yards. And this isn't like any kind of national championship type stuff. It's just something we do at our club. We have a long enough range to shoot 440 yards, which is not extreme long range, but it's really good considering most ranges in my state are only 100. There's one that's like 200, and there's one other one that's 600, but it's a act of Congress to try to get into that club as far as being a member and shooting there. And the club that I shoot at the 440 is over 2 hours away for me, so it's not like I can go and do all this dialing in like I did with this last target at any time that I want to, because my time availability and all that stuff just always isn't there, and I can only, you know, really do it in the time that I can fit it in between work and everything else. So as it stands now, I have the championship match coming up in 2 weeks. I will do an update video for how I did during that match. The fact that I'm able to hang with the other guys and actually had been able to win one of the matches this season was all that I was really aiming for. I wasn't coming out expecting to just dominate everyone just because I did an expensive build for a rifle. A lot of it still comes down to me. You can have the most expensive rifle out there, but put it behind someone that doesn't shoot it well, and you're not going to get good results, or vice versa. Someone that's an extremely good shooter doesn't have to have such an expensive build to shoot well. So it goes both ways, but you know, overall, I'm happy that I'm able to compete with these guys now. And for the championship match, my goal, of course, my goal is to win it, but I'm not going in expecting to win it. I just want to be competitive and be somewhere at the top with, you know, the other guys that are doing well. If I don't win, but if I'm close on points with the other guys, then I'll consider that a big achievement, because my one huge disadvantage is everybody there is shooting hand loads. I'm still doing factory loaded ammunition, and I was able to do a 99 target with that, and you know, it was more than I was expecting. And all that Lapua match grade stuff that I've been shooting, I put all of that through the Centricity tool that I mentioned in another video in the series on this rifle build. It's debatable whether it's really effective or not, but why not do it when you can get 95 and a 99? You know, so I'll continue to do that with any ammo that I have, even the reloads, unless they come out, you know, dead on as far as round out. But that's to be seen later on. So to close this out, there will be another update on this after the championship match. I'll give my overall thoughts on this season as far as shooting somewhat long distance. 440 is not really, really, really far, but it's not easy either. It's much, much harder than what I originally thought it would be. But if you want to see more videos on this gun build, there's more videos on the playlist, and I'll have more coming up later on this fall once the season's all done. Also, ton of content on my 2003 Sonic Blue Terminator Cobra if you're interested in that as well. Lots of videos if you guys want to check those out. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave it a like, but above all else, thanks for watching.